annoying. It's not letting me. I don't know why it's being like that today. It's not letting me record in the whatchamacallit landscape. It's like set on whatever, but it's fine. So this is gonna be a super quick, maybe like 5 minute live. I was just gonna wait because I'm ended up taking up my ended up taking my weekend trip. I am going on my weekend trip that I haven't even started like I have everything I need. 2 pack. I just need 2 pack. Uh, and I get to see my best friend this weekend. I haven't seen my best friend in years, and I was gonna see her a few months ago when I went to that wedding in October. October was already a few months ago. But I have my Lafruma hide. The lighting, I'm not using like a light that faces me. We're using that overhead light that makes me sweat because all the light is concentrated in like one place. It's light and heat, and it warms the space quick. But I just wanted to get like 3 cards from 212, 12 and leaf shade. What is the point? What is the purpose? What are we asking for? Guidance? Just like, what do you want to say? What is the room? That was quick. So East comes out immediately. I wanted to get 3 cards. East is I. I mean, it's I script, but it's in the shape of the letter I. It's number 11. Oh, there's something that I wanted to do. Let's see. We'll get another card. Where does East sort of culminate? In Licha? And 12. There's the 12 that I saw at the cut. I can't see when I'm when I hold up the cards. This is number 66. So we have 2 master numbers in 11 and 66. East and 12. I don't know where my little green book is. And then late chair, Licha. I like Licha. Is number 72. Bleach, emotional bleed, and static needs. Oh, it was in the Ool cycle. Okay. I was like, 12 is something. I don't have a little green binder. It used to be like literally right here. So 12 is almost an O for Lagoon. But there's something. It's like what's rounded needs to come to a point. Leech has the points, but is that Tier or Bifrost in the middle of this? So from 11 to 66, that's a difference of 55. So I'm going to look for rune number 55 and I'm going to pull before and after to get what lies in between these two. I had a thought to do this, get 2 runes, notice the pattern. Bottom of the deck is Fam, which is number 1, which is, 11. 1 is also the I is also the East. Who am I looking for? I don't even know. The numbers aren't in the same place on every card, which is fine. It just means that I have to actually look for the number sometimes. Calc is in reverse. Weekend. Sweet. Yeah. But yeah, I'm taking a long weekend. Yesterday, the lab got empty. Both labs got empty. There's nothing in there. It echoes like crazy. Like the way that the room echoes, you would think that it's bigger than it actually is. Uh, and so that was, I guess it's cool, you know. The end of the year, this time, the end of the year, the release of this deck, it feels like everything is, it's definitely taken time to get here, but at the same time, it feels like it's almost come a little quicker than was anticipated. That's uplifting. It's pointier. It almost makes me think of Pisces. And Pisces is the 12th sign. Still looking for 55. Oh, okay. So under Ofalagu is, who are you? I literally just, Godmouth. Under Ofalagu, Ofalagu with the Godmouth, that's interesting. Here's my camera. I keep losing my camera. So we get right into it. So number 4, Os Godmouth. Number 55 is Edburston or Eidburston. Eidburston. And then the card after is Sunstetter 37, which is the solstice. Yeah, solstice and rarefied. And we're coming upon that solstice. Oh, and then look. Yo, Ao, you is after the solstice, which is the number 13 that I mentioned. See? It's dropping, if you can see. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Rob. I'm like, I'm using my phone, so it's like tiny. Excuse me. And I use the go live together feature. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm not going to be on here that long, but I had a thought to use it. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but see. So it feels like something is, in a way, falling into place. Ooh. And it's so far. I didn't give you a heads up because I had literally said I'm not gonna go live, and then I was like, I'll go live for like 5 minutes because I really need to start getting stuff in a little suitcase. But also at the same time, I'm not in a rush. I get to see my best friend this weekend. I'm excited. I get to see my ex roomie. I get to see my best friend. Um, it's been years since I've seen either one of them, and it'll be nice. So, East and Oaths, similarly toned colors, but it feels like East is in the winter time. I can't tell if Oss is in the spring or if it's in the autumn. I It's more spring. And then Edwardson has some hues of the leech. Let's get into that. I'm not trying to be here all day. What am I doing? Let's go. So there's something that needs to fall into place within the self, or it drops into place. Oh, this is a so the line is dropping to give us the you, right? Which is the station 13 that goes back to Sagittarius at station 13. It was the Fluid energy, the dead end that's opening. But because of this 12th energy, it's the staticness of 12. It's like this is getting stuck, like it can't drop any further. At bursten is to release. Oh, well, I mean, according to the cards, it's something that's going to be released at the time of the solstice, and it's God mouth energy. So I don't know if that's a like an us thing or if that's the divine thing. Who knows? Thank you. I appreciate it. I need it. Onwardness is after. Oh, look, it's my buddy Ash. So I've had this for a week now. I think a week today. And Ash makes so many appearances. So many appearances. I was seeing a different face today. I see it better in the camera than I do. Oh no, there it is. I don't know if I can show you. It's some kind of animal, but it's like these are closed eyes, and this is like some kind of snout thing, and it has a wide-ish space. It's not super wide, but and now I'm like, it's almost like it could be a bear, but it could also be like a person, girl, some weird face in the tree. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, cool. This is station 13. Ash and you. You is the medicine for Ash. You is sort of killed from the inside. Ash regrows from the inside. I mean, a present gateway solstice is in like less than a week. It's the 21st, right? When we enter Capricorn season. No, 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 no. Yeah, I thought today was like the 15th for a second for some reason. I'm getting ahead of myself. But it will be here before you know it. I'm like, I haven't necessarily tried to do a reading with like just runes yet. so so just going off of the shapes of the runes. So 12 is an unseen boundary. Or that's my I keep losing the camera. 12 is it's like it's an invisible wall. And it's these parts that are invisible. the rune of interest, our signifying rune, is east, right? So this is the total from lowest of low to highest of high, our personal Ygdrassil, the well of divinity sort of within us, from the most divine to the least. And it's this sort of spectrum that we sort of occupy in between. And it's like in that spectrum, there's a ceiling and then there's a floor. And that's sort of what 12th is sort of pointing out. Now, these are moving. I originally said like this one is dropping, and then we got yell, right? So this one is falling, but it's caught on something. It's hitting something in this in between that keeps it static. But now I'm like, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Like, I don't know if this is actually rising and this one needs to fall. I don't know how they move, but it feels like I don't know if it's an attempt to artificially or prematurely break through either the floor or the ceiling, but there's a significant amount of pressure that's put on the self, I guess we'll say, that causes it to actually like snap. I don't know where this is going. This is this has been I've had many a lesson within the past, whatever. And one of them, or one of the things that I want to do, I guess, especially at this time, is not try so hard to find how it corresponds, correlates, or what it means. Sometimes the message is what the message is, and then life, the universe, spirit clarifies, breaks down, like plinkos it into its proper place for us. I mean, it happens regardless. Uh, but still, it's just like, don't, it's like expand out more. Oh, I can like barely see these. So did I mention that? I did. I said I was on my. So when I said that I was trying to be on my best everlong mystic behavior, I keep losing the camera. When I said I was on my trying to be on my best everlong mystic behavior, I got through 4 of the zodiac signs, and I didn't finish the other 8. And I think was it Aquarius? I was like, hey Aquarius, so I most definitely finished all 12 signs. By the time you see them, they'll be up. But it's like I'll use the deck, but I won't necessarily like you've seen the cards over on Rob Odinson, and I'm sure you'll see them some more. And I kind of wanted to wait until I'd recorded all of them to like really, really, really feature the cards. So I'll hold them up when I'm talking about it. But yeah, so I recorded Pisces, Aquarius, Taurus, and Sagittarius. I was gonna do Capricorn, but then it was just like Taurus. I was like, okay. So I'll do Capricorn where I do Taurus right before Aries. So the goats will be together. The goats will be together, and Taurus will be next to Uranus, Aquarius. what is this? So it's like you have the east, and it's like it snapped when it went to Sunsteda, which is a 10. So it goes from 11 to a 3710. But after it snaps, it feels like it like collapses in on itself. Or it doesn't collapse in on itself, but it's like it folds. I'm like, okay, but why is it folding? What is that? Oh, girl, I didn't ask for this. Oh, look, I didn't even notice this. Twice 13 is 26. That's you and Ash. That's cute. Love that. Oh goodness. So it's this okay, so we are souls that inhabit bodies, right? But it feels like it's this is a it increases in density. It's something that has to compress itself to fit a certain form. It could be like the winding of DNA. You know what I mean? When you take your super long unwound DNA, you get you some histones and you wrap it up so you can put it in these tiny itty bitty cellular like cells. You got like that much room for like this much DNA. You know what I mean? So it has to get really compact. That's what this is. It's almost like it's the soul, the mind. It's the full sort of band of self, but it snaps and compacts. I wish I had like a, but you know, like those snap rulers where that like fold. It's that. That's what's happening, right? On this side, going this way, and so now it's almost like okay, so are the 12 invisible walls just like where we have to unsnap the next piece? It's like unwinding, but without it being unwound, it's inaccessible. And maybe that's this leech. So it's like instead of it being an emotional bleed, it's almost more. I mean, it can be energetic, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual, it can be whatever. It's whenever we try to pull in more or whenever we try to exercise more than we have like the bandwidth to utilize. Some of it gets lost. And it's just like inefficiencies in energy transfer or whatever. But if you were to like reassemble the east, you would have more room to like put it, and so your losses wouldn't be as much, right? But I almost wonder if um because Oz is still here. I keep thinking my camera is like here and it's up here. My camera is literally it's at the tip of my finger. That's my camera. But usually it's fine. I'm not trying to be on here for super long. Oh, I mixed them. What? So now Sunsteda is standing where East is. With Sunsteda standing where East is, there's a 37 and a 72. 37, I mean, I can do the pattern in a few ways, but 37 is a 10, 72 is a 9. So that doesn't give me anything in between. But we have to come down one. in order to it's like a flip and one. Girl, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have enough time to go down that rabbit hole to keep configuring. It's almost like a Rubik's cube where you can just like so anyway, with Osgood mouth, I don't know if that's external input or if it's internal input. If there's like a level of divinity that we reach within ourselves, or there's a level of embodying. Instead of divinity, let's call it a purity of expression or like pure expression. Because it's in that case, it would be like if it's internal, it would be like inflating a balloon. When you put enough air into it, it'll just automatically, it's like pneumatic, it'll pop open. If it's external, then that's like the cracking it sort of open or whatever. I'm gonna get one more. At the heart of all of this, what's the point? I would love a title card just to be like, I don't know. At the heart of all of this. Oop. Bottom of the deck is Mona. Moon. It's the moon rune. I was like, I'm either a title card or the moon rune. Moon, recognize. But I love this recognize because last time it was learning to know and then engaging with that learning. Moon slides to reveal Elk's protection. 15, 6, 39, 3. Um, with Word Hammer under that and the Word Room, the All Room came out last time. Uh, Taurus actually got one of the runes that Taurus got was Elks. I was like the protection. Oh, win, bliss and comfort. Okay, love that. So when came out, fell out face down on top of Yao. I'm like, I don't have enough brain for this. I think so. Yeah, it's like the movement is going the other way. If we follow these, if this is like the point, if this is like the end goal, then it's like it has to drop down, but then come like down and back around or something like that. It has to like actually flip or invert or go to the other side at some point. And maybe that's why the moon is here. It's like dark side of the moon energy. It's dark side of the moon because it's the side that always faces away from the earth. It's the side that we never see. That's why it's dark side. It's not the dark side because of anything dark. It's just the side of things that we never get to see just because of relative positioning and because of gravitational forces and whatever reason why the moon doesn't apparently rotate. You know, I'm not an astrophysicist, but it's the 8, 10, 9, 8. We're getting back to the one. So there you go. What does this mean? Or what's bursting out? Well, that's just the card I was looking for. Um, Oh yeah. We could be bursting out of these invisible walls. We could be once we sort of drop low enough. Well, this going from here to here would be busting through invisible walls, bursting through whatever keeps us sort of static, right? And then after we do that, we like burst through to the other side, and then we connect things up there, and then it becomes this flag that signals something or someone or us ourselves that like we are open, ready for something a whole lot more. So sure, why not? 36, I guess Homer. Um, and apparently, is it all happening now? Original birthright Ethel or Aethel title card. I'm gonna find a room. Ooh, they shuffling today. Hey, it is like really easy to shuffle. Stay tuned for more information on how you can pick up your own Lafrima pod. Was it? Oh, mm, don't ask. I don't know. Just making noises. Plinko has been a thing. Oh, that was supposed to be Hello and Ola, Ricky Dean, but I mixed it up. So we have Thorn, Portal, and Wackened. Wickened. Those the Animal Watchers. Yep, the Animal Watchers, Animal Totems. And it's funny because that came out with Ood, of course. When I showed the Raw Rooms, the first one that I did, I went looking for whatever I went looking for, and Wacken was with Ood. And it's like, oh, the owl is literally right here watching. And the interesting part is East and 12th were in the East to Ood cycle that I put in my little green book. And the whole thing about, okay, yeah, the whole thing about the East to Ood cycle, the whole thing about the like the yin and yang, I'm assuming you know what the yin and yang looks like. It's a circle that has this wavy, oh, there's a word for it, but I forget. It's got this wavy thing that bisects them, and then like there's part that's white and there's part that's black, and then the black part there's a little white dot, and the white part there's a little black dot. And it's almost like that's the default standard idealized normal in a way of like standardized, not normal in a way of like not weird, you know what I mean? That's the default configuration. But at a certain point, we can shift and move things within the whole. So, like, let's say that if we're going back to the 12 walls, if we're going up into this space, and let's say that this space, this is like pure light. Let's say all this is pure light. You can't enter pure light with any darkness. And so, what you can do is It's almost like, oh, I wish I had it. I wish I could paint it for you. But it's like you can take because it tapers out, you can take the tail of the white part and wrap it around to meet the fat part. And then it's like it'll put all of the dark inside. And then and a part of that process in order to like thicken the connection or whatever, the white part inside of the black part, it meets the tail to give it a little bit more color to close the circle with. And then when you close the circle, you can enter a space that's all light because it'll be all white on the inside, and then the black it'll be all white like on the outside with the core of black on the inside. And so it's so that we can enter those spaces but still maintain a sort of sense of self, or so that we can not be lost or not be blinded. Just like if you were entering a darker, lower space, you can enter those spaces and like not just be consumed with the lowest of emotions to keep it like simple, right? Because it's almost like then you can enter a rough period and not be lost to grief or anxiety or depression or whatever. But also we can go into a really beautiful space and not have to freak out about like the impermanence of it, not waiting for the other shoe to drop, not looking for the thing that we know is going to go wrong. And there's a functionality to both. But anyway, that was the East 12th. It was like East, Bram, 12th, Flusa, and Oud. So yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah. So that's why. But with Thorn here, because from Thorn to Wind, we can see that it dropped. It was all the way up here. And when it's all the way up here, this is everything. I don't have 12th anymore. But it's like when we put that, because it's like they're half of a Gananga, half of a Gananga gap. But it's like if it's all the way up there, it's less likely that we'll get like stuff down here in the mix. This is like almost perfectly in between. If we put 12th, that's the one thing I guess that it's fine. It's the one thing that I can't do with this deck. But like I said, it's fine. I could always draw it out for you if I had literally anything, but I need to end this. So, oh, but I'm gonna illustrate it. Darn it, give me a second. I need to draw with my finger. Oh, you can't even see it. I need something a lot thicker than it. I need the background to not be black. Oh, use light background. Thank you. And I need something thick. Okay, maybe not you. 1 second. Undo, undo. Okay. Oh, perfect. We'll do this one right here. And then we'll change the color and do this one right. Oh, it didn't change the color. There we go. Undo, undo. Oh, I undid too much. Here we go. So the whole point is like we're bursting through those invisible walls, right? So here is 12th is in yellow with the invisible walls. Thorn is in black. And then Wind is in red. You see that? So Thorn is coming out like perfectly sort of in between those two invisible walls, while after it bursts through, Wind is purely in that upper part. And on the Ul rune, that's the part that's intact. The bottom just sort of, when it's the bottom, it's Brahm. When it's the top and it's got those two dots, it's Ul. This is funny because so I'm playing God of War, right? And there's a Nordic chest. And with the Nordic chest, there are three runes, like little three rune puzzles that you gotta figure out. And I found this is one of the runes. The second one is like that one. I don't remember what they were, but no, I found this one. This is the first rune that I found. There's one of them I can't find, and I was like, it's also in a part of the game where you can control the time of day. So, hola, Russell. You can control the time of day. So, I was exploring at night. There are paths that open up to you at night. So, there are things that you can do down here. But in the nighttime, that's when it's like black on the outside, but white on the inside. In the daytime, it's white on the outside, black on the inside. I couldn't find it at night, and there are like certain things that don't grow, but in the daytime there's overgrowth. It's in one of the nine realms. I don't want to spoil the game just in case anybody's playing it. But in the daytime, things like overgrow, so you'll get like land bridges or plant bridges. Like they'll grow into these bridges. So I switched it to daytime, and I'm like, I still can't find the third whatever. So I just saw this anyway. There you go. That's not our final part, but that's because of the owl watcher that was just here. That's the east. What is that? East Brom 12th Mesa. Ooh. East actually, I mean, it's east, so it starts quite a few of them. Because there was the East Yor Vindhorn Ygdrassil sort of snowflake rotation too. Ooh. Here's our final rune coming out face down. Bottom of the deck is onwardness. Again. Which is the present gateway. It's Radandi. The art in this card. So there are a few places in the world tree, um, or there are entities, I guess, that have homes like in the space of the tree itself, outside of the nine realms. And I know, I think Mimir's Brunner, where Mimir lives, is one of them. But anyway, it's like, and I'm sure it was intentional because this is big Ygdrassil energy, but there's this little cutout here that you enter. It's like you walk inside, and then there's this space like inside the tree. A space outside of the nine. The card that okay, and then there's Thorn again. With Kanafa. So Kanafa is like oh, and then there's Os. So there's things that are in our control and there are things that are outside of our control, right? There are things that we can position and prepare ourselves for, and then the universe, the divine, somebody, some random person outside of us meets us there. Because this was all about the part that we sort of control. So now in blue, because why not? No, we'll do green. It always matches where we are, right? Can you see my screen is tiny. You see, in green, it always matches where we are. That's the part that we have no control over. If when that bliss, that higher living is the goal, Kanafa is the divine meeting us there. And I love that Oz looks like this. And I love that it's green because it feels like these can just like fold up, like these can snap up. So like this top one would snap up or do something to meet this up here. The middle one would snap in the middle to meet thorn. You see what I'm saying? But that's Kanafa is just it's the completion of that Ganunga Void. That's the divine coming in. Ari, oh, hello. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm not like super paying attention to the chat. I'm using my phone and I can barely see it. Plus, I'm trying to go. I got somewhere to be, and I still need a pet. Elks is the card that it came out face down. This is what we're going to end with. Now, this is interesting because again, I'm playing God of War. And there's Nidhogg the dragon and the roots. There's Vidofnir, who is not Hreisvelg. Vidofnir, who is the eagle up in the canopy, and then there's Ratatoskr, the squirrel that runs in between. And I was thinking about Pokemon, because in Pokemon X, Y, and Z, it was loosely Ygdrassil themed, the legendary Pokemon were. Um, I guess Zygarde would be Nidhogg the dragon. Veltal would be Vidofnir the eagle, but Xerneas was the deer. And then I was like, oh, there was a stag at the World Tree too. In the World card, I think in the Witch's Tarot, it shows them. And I was like, where's what about the stags? And then I was playing God of War last night and I was introduced to the stags. I was like, oh, here they are. LOL. It's like you got to go and rescue the four stags of the four seasons, the stags of the four seasons, because when Fimbulwinter came, some way or another, they got loose. And without, I don't want to spoil the story, but it's like they're needed to trim the tree so that it doesn't overgrow. And then they were like, well, is it a problem if it overgrows? And it was like, well, if the branches get too heavy, they'll fall. And they're like, oh, okay. And it's like, well, the branches of the world tree carry, support, hold realms. So you don't necessarily want the branches that support those realms to fall because then, what's holding them in their place on the tree. So bring the stags back, please. Information will be released. Oh, is it already? Okay. Because I know Russ said he made a post. And it's rustlingaround.com. So anyway, the stags, the elks here. Number 15. 7, 6. And I know it should be because I think there's a part of the website that's ordered in chronological posts. It should be the most recent one. Uh, Elk's Protection is the last card that comes out. And it feels like it can be however you want to interpret Elk's Protection. I think sometimes we can be in a space where we might reach for something that's a little higher than we thought it was, and it might be a little heavier than we thought it was. And so, in order to avert disaster, there are some things that might be it's almost like they would already be out of reach, but it's all for you better. It all works for you better. Interpret else how you will. And with that, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I am still in the process of recording the 12 signs. I got 4 of them done. I'm using the Fruma Healing Oracle deck with the Ygdrassil Norse Divination cards, and then either the Crow Tarot or the Runic Tarot. And so far, the overarching sort of story with the runes that I've gotten so far, what like is sort of unfolding. It's about, in a lot of ways, this today and the last time I went live. It's partially a time for, partially we're ready for, all of the above, none of the above. Like personal expansion. It's time for expansion in a lot of ways. And in order for that to happen, there are things that must sort of. Oh, this is soft. Sorry. I never noticed how dark and pretty this can be when you. I guess it depends on the angle that you put it in. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to that you wish to experience your reality. Apparently, it's a time of. I feel like personal growth is almost an understatement, but it is a time for personal growth. And all of the things that deeply rooted and anchored personal growth allow for. It's also a time of like consolidation. It's like consolidating things to make room for new experiences and stuff like that. So I can't tell you when I'm gonna finish those. I could like just make public the 4 that I've already recorded. I don't make any of my choices or decisions. We'll leave it up to Siri. If Siri says heads, I will unprivate those. If Siri says tails, I'll wait till I get all 12 recorded like I wanted, and then I'll release them all at the same time. So heads for I already forgot. Heads for release, tails for wait. Hey Siri, flip a coin. Heads. No! I make my own choices and decisions. You're gonna have to wait. I don't listen to Siri anymore today, and it's hilarious because so Anwilla, Willful Resistance, was the card that was under the last card that I pulled up. Kanafa, I think Kanafa was the last card I pulled up, and then I saw Anwilla right there. I am choosing once again to be resistant. But there's a certain so it's been like I said, I've been seeing Ash a lot. And it's been this story of again, it's like consolidating things to make room for new things, realms, worlds, entire seasons, cycles, planes of identity within the self might compressed, marbleized, so that room can be made for what's coming in. But it's not completely separate from the system either. And so then it was like a room that started popping up is like new. I've been seeing new, like the new bud, like all over. And so when Anwilla came out with the personal Ygdrassil, uh, I didn't even interpret it because I'm like, I'm tired of seeing Ash. I'm going to be resistant today. I'm a Taurus moon and rising, and I don't mind being stubborn. It's just my excuse, but I love it. Is it a coincidence? No. Uh, so I got that and I was like, you know what? I'm not even, and also like I was on my way to work and I didn't really have time. I wanted to get the lab like packed up and cleaned for the weekend. I didn't even post I didn't even like really sit with the cards at all. But something was whispering to me like that Anwilla is willpower. It's and willpower is a willful resistance to something. It's the strength or the drive to like stand up rather than to sort of like lie flat. And then it was like that's what the bud does. When a bud is formed that then blooms, like it is pushing itself away from the tree, but it's still connected. And so that and that went in a whole bunch of places that honestly I just it's like it'll play out in my head. I'll think about it while I'm at work. I go home, I play God of War, I fight sleep, and then I eventually go to sleep. So I haven't there's a few things that have been unfolding that I haven't necessarily devoted intentional time to unfolding, but they've been unfolding naturally and organically. Um, I don't even remember why I started talking about all this because the Anwilla, that's when it was willpower. Um, and all of the ways that that does whatever. So, anyway, I hope y'all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. It's been an hour. Ooh, hold up, what time is it? No! Bye. If I can this, it didn't end. I know I'm gonna be late. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Third time is the charm.